Larrivee Guitars has a contemporary recording collection in the 03 line. It represents what is increasingly becoming a very small list of high-value USA-built guitars. I'm going to tell you all about them, so stick around. Hey, you're watching Alamo Music TV. My name is Chris McKee with Alamo Music in San Antonio, Texas. You can find us online at alamomusic.com. If you're new to the channel, subscribe, turn on notifications, like our videos. If you want to support the channel, you can visit our spring store, link below for custom swag. Check out our podcast. It's called the Fretboard Confessional, wherever you get podcasts at. And you can also buy things from us online or in person. We'd love to see you in store. Incidentally, some people are sometimes surprised when they come in and they see Cooper or I right there on the sales floor helping people out. But that's what we do each and every day when we're not making videos, because we love guitars and we love putting them in people's hands. And this represents a great line to do just that. So if you're not familiar with Larrivee Guitars, they've been around since the 60s. First, they were made in Canada. Years ago, they relocated to California. So they are made in the United States of America, not just North America, but the USA now. And they have a great line of guitars. They have a huge fan base of people who love their guitars, and we are dealers for Larrivee now. So I wanted to focus on the 03 Mahogany collection. This is a D03 that I have in my hands. I actually have a family member that had one of these, and I remember when I was first in college, there was a guy in my dorm that had one of these, and I would borrow it from time to time. These are great guitars. They long have been, and they've always been a really good value proposition, and that remains the case today. Now, I've got two to show you. This is the D03 Mahogany. This is the L03 Mahogany. Now, in the recording series, there's also rosewood versions. So that would be like a D03R or an L03R. And those are also good values, but these hit a certain price. And it's becoming more and more difficult to hit that with a guitar made in the United States. That price is $1,999. By the way, kudos to whoever it was back in the marketing days of the 60s that came up with the 99.99, because you're a marketing genius. My hat's off to you. These are great guitars. They're all solid wood construction. Everything in Larrivee's lineup is all solid wood construction. These come with hardshell cases. In this case, there is no pickup, but I'm going to show you something as we talk about these that is one of the things I really like. I've only ever seen it on Taylor guitars and Larrivee guitars, but I really wish it would become a norm in the industry, and I'll show you what that is in a little bit. Let's talk about the D03 first. So this is an all-solid wood dreadnought. It is spruce and mahogany. Now, specifically, this is African mahogany, or Kahia, and I like that Larrivee spells that out on their website. I think some people try to obfuscate what kind of mahogany it is, but it is a true mahogany. So scientifically, if you examine the name of these species, this is actually a mahogany, just like Honduran mahogany, just a different species of mahogany. It is bound in maple. Now, this is one of the things you will hear me talk about. I prefer wood bindings, generally speaking, as a rule. So I really like that these are bound in maple. On the lower price points, even on the higher price points, it's maple. It may be plain, it may be flamed, it might be satin finish, it might be gloss, but it is a wood binding. Now, this is a 25.5-inch scale length guitar with herringbone rosette, nice tortoiseshell pick guard there, and a very plain, just dot inlaid ebony fingerboard going up to this headstock. Now, because it's Larrivee Contemporary series, you're going to have a rounded off headstock. I say that because there's a traditional series that Larrivee offers, which has a squared off headstock and other features. We have another video that we're doing that kind of talks about the difference between contemporary and traditional series from Larrivee, because a bunch of stuff changes. So make sure that you are subscribed and you turn on notifications so you know when that video comes out. So this is a X-braced, scallop-braced guitar. It's Larrivee's bracing pattern, which has kind of a symmetrical design when it comes to the X-brace and the tone bars that are involved. The neck shape, I would say, on these is a little different. I would call it kind of a D shape. It's not very deep, and it's flatter and a little wider feeling just because of the shape than a lot of other things. Now, the dreadnought on this guitar is 1 11/16 inch nut width. And the L series over here is a 1 3/4 inch nut width. They both have the same scale length, and they have the same wood construction and very similar bracing. The L here is known as kind of a favorite among finger pickers. Now, this shape is specific to Larrivee. I've always liked it. It comes about as a result of Jean Larrivee's classical guitar kind of beginnings, and I think is the attempt to blend a lot of features, kind of what a grand auditorium is or a small jumbo with some builders. This kind of round shoulder dreadnought-ish shape is narrower and like I said, a favorite among finger stylists. So it's really cool. I play fingerstyle on it for this demo, and I think it gives you a lot of depth. It handles strumming. It handles everything very, very well. This DO3 I'm strumming in the demo today, and I think it handles this very, very well. But one of the things that it's got is, again, that narrower nut width combined with all solid wood construction at this price point. If you look right now for a USA-made guitar that features all solid wood construction, that's available for right at $2,000, it's a short list. Martin's 15 series has long been in that. Some of those models are now made in Mexico, and I feel that will become more and more of the norm there, just because of the cost of building and tariffs and all of that. Gibson has their specials. There's like an L00 special and J45 special that's right at that price. Of course, Taylor has the studio models, the 314 and 414 studio, that have been very, very popular. Those also have narrower nut widths, but no option for a wider nut width. They come with a bag instead of a case, but they're all gloss instead of satin, and they have pickups. So there's a huge value proposition there. Torfi tops too, but those are also kind of a weird guitar because they're mostly made in the United States. The necks are made in Mexico, and I think there's something coming down about what will they say as far as where they're made, even though they're mostly made in the United States. For they're only 60 miles apart with those two factories, so it's a little bit different thing, but that's what's going on. So all that to say, the options for a guitar that's made in the United States that is available at $2,000 is becoming very difficult to find, especially with all solid wood construction. And so I think these guitars from Larrivee represent a real opportunity in what's becoming a shrinking price point. So I also think they play well and they sound great. So let's take a listen and I'll talk a little bit more on the other side. right, so there you have it. Now, I have 2 body shapes to show you. We just started carrying Larrivee Guitars. We've already sold out of the PO3, the OMO3. I don't think we've received a jumbo size version yet, but all of the body shapes, including a baritone, are available in the O3 lineup for both the mahogany and the rosewood. Now, the rosewood, which we'll do another video on, is a little bit more expensive, but again, represents great value because you get a rosewood back inside guitar at a really great price point. We should probably at some point also compare these to the Taylor Studios, both the 300 series and the 400 series, because they seem to be kind of the closest direct competitor. And there's real trade-offs between the two. That, someone would probably choose one or the other, even if the price point's the same, because of what they have. So I really like this. The finish is really great. Really nice dark ebony, a great setup. The neck feels a little bit different. One of the things we saw this year with Martin is they've thinned the fingerboard and rounded it on the necks of all of their standard series. One of the things I've noticed with Larrivee is thicker fingerboards than I see on just about any other builder of guitar. There's other little quirks that you may or may not like. So I like the rounded headstock. I love the logo that they've got. I don't know why. There's certain builders that do this. Martin does this on their 15 series. The octave 12th fret only has 1 dot. So if you're used to 2, it could throw you off initially. And the thing that I really like that I mentioned at the onset that I wanted to bring up was these are not equipped with pickups. So they have a strap button. Larrivee is the only other company I've seen do this other than Taylor. Taylor was the first one I've seen do it. I don't know who did it first. I'm sure Bob and Jean Larrivee have kind of shared notes over the years. But what they do is they go ahead and drill out the end pin to accommodate most pickups. And then this threads through a T-nut that has a nylon bushing that kind of fills out the cavity for that hole. I think that makes a lot of sense from a manufacturing standpoint because regardless of whether the guitar gets a pickup or not, you're drilling the same hole in the end block. I get why Martin wouldn't do it from a traditional standpoint on some of their guitars, but I just think it makes sense because if you buy a guitar without a pickup and then you want to add one, if you take this off, it's already drilled to accommodate most input jacks. So I'm a fan of that. My Taylor had that back in the day, and it made things a lot easier than having to drill out the end pin. So big fan of these. Like I said, they're available in all of the body shapes. We are now carrying them. So if you have questions on anything from Larrivee and you'd like to compare these against some other things, I'd love to hear from you. I want you to let me know in the comments what you think about the demo, what you would like to see in our reviews and comparisons of these as well, because we like to put them up against some other models, particularly at various prices, whether it's made in the US or otherwise, and kind of see how everything compares. So let us know your comments in the comment box below. Also, make sure that if you are not subscribed to do that, turn on notifications, like our videos, share our videos, help us get above 200,000. We've been banging on that ceiling for a while. On to 1 million, I say, because everyone says we're like some of the best guitar reviewers on the internet. So thanks for the compliments and help us get the exposure that we need. So do all those things. Keep coming back for more. I'll see you next time.